Good afternoon, everyone. I'm continuing to work in the rainy day journals, and so I just turned my camera on this afternoon while I was working on decorating some of the pages and making cards and tags. These will be available in the next couple of days, I hope, if everything goes as planned. 2 out of the 3 of these are actually reserved. I had 2 people reach out and ask if I would hold them for them. The Rise and Shine journal is reserved, and the Rainy Day Playbook is reserved, but the Make Believe Parade will be available in my shop unless I hear from someone else about that one. The last one is the Mystery of the Umbrella, something like that. I've decided to keep that one for myself. So I'm excited to get these listed so I can move on to my next project, but I'll tell you what, these have been so much fun to work on. And I don't think it's irony that we have had record rainfall here where I live during the time that I've been working on these. In fact, over the weekend, I think it was Thursday and Friday, we broke several records for our state. I think we got over 4.5 inches of rain in about 24 hours. It was crazy, y'all. I planted some seeds and I'm not entirely sure, but I think a lot of them washed away. Even though I planted them 2 weeks ago, it was just wild. And they're calling for more rain later this week. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the weather, but I guess you can say that these journals were definitely made with inspiration from the real thing, because a lot of the days that I worked on these, it was literally a shower of rain outside my window all day long. I'm just adding a few things to the pages of this one that I did not do last night. I stayed up super late last night trying to get these decorated and almost got done, but not quite. So I put them aside until today. Got up this morning early to see our son off. He took his very last exam ever in high school this morning. Bittersweet, happy, sad. But yes, he is done taking high school tests, and a chapter in his life is closing and another one's about to open. So I didn't get started until later in the morning because I saw him off and wished him well for that. But so here, I'm just adding a few little glittery raindrops to this window behind Peter Rabbit and his mom. It was not raining in that story, but the other side of the page did have a poem about rain, but I didn't want to cover that picture up because it was so sweet. And there's a lot of journaling space around it, so I added some raindrops. Just like in the other journals, I've added some of my daughter's watercolor images. You'll see them throughout when I do the flip through of these. Super cute. Excited to be able to put some of her creations in these also, as I have in the past. I'm a little bit off camera right here. I apologize. My desk is literally just piled. So I wanted to zoom in on the one area of my desk where I was working, where it was just not going to be a visual onslaught of chaos. That's really what my desk looks like right now. So there will be instances where I am off camera for a second. I'm turning this book image from a children's science book into a tag. Occasionally you'll see me put these aside to either the right or the left. To my left, I have a pile of ready to go in the journals. To my right, I have a pile of needs to be taken to the sewing machine. So I sort of do an assembly line in that way, and then when I get a good enough stack of 10 or more, I go over and sew all of them at once. This is one of the images that Carol from Crinkled Path sent me in some Happy Mail. Beautiful black and white image of children in rain with umbrellas, and a few parts of the pictures are colorized to make them stand out. So I decided to back this little boy in the rain. He's holding a rose, and I put him on dark purple. The colors in these journals are every shade of blue you can imagine, plus purple and gray, and a little bit of a punch of yellow. I think I mentioned that before, but when I think about raincoats, I think about yellow. So I had to put some yellow in these. It also is a reminder that after every rain shower, the sun is going to come back out again. This is an awesome image from it was sort of a crafting magazine from the late 70s, early 80s when clear plastic umbrellas were popular. And I think these girls have embellished their umbrellas somehow with pom-poms. I just thought that would be a fun addition. And you'll see up there, I cut out an image of the Morton Salt Girl because she is standing in a rain shower. So I'll be using her in a moment. I hope all of you had a wonderful weekend. We ended up going yard selling and then didn't have the best of luck with yard sales, so came home, ate lunch, and decided to take my daughter out. We actually had two big events this week, my son's last exam, but my daughter passed her driver's test on Friday. She has her permit now. So I asked her what she wanted to do to celebrate, and she said, I actually want to go thrift shopping. So we did that, and I tell you what, the things that I found this week more than made up for the very, very slow yard sale morning that we had. We still had fun together. We always have fun when we're yard selling, even if we don't find anything. The gas is a little bit lower right now, so it wasn't quite of a painful, endeavor to go out and not find anything, but having spent a lot of money on gas. But like I said, we more than made up for it at the thrift shops. Although I will say that my husband did find something at the yard sale, the very first one we went to, that he has been wanting since about 2008. I think it's called a Korg. He is a musician, and for a hobby, he sort of dabbles in electronic music. And so this was a keyboard from the early to mid 2000s that was made to look like a synthesizer type keyboard from the 70s and 80s. And he got it for a steal because a couple of the keys were not working, but thankfully he and my son do know how to fix that. So yeah, he was on cloud nine, no pun intended. So he is happy that we went yard selling that morning for sure. Tell me, when you guys go out and go yard selling and thrift shopping, does anyone in your family like to go with you? Do they help you look for what you're looking for, or do they sort of venture off on their own and look for things that they're interested in? Or both. Sometimes we take turns and I'm like, okay, you follow me for a while and then I'll follow you. Okay, so I clipped it here. I went and I cut these into tags. These are paint chips. And then I sewed the edges. And in all of these journals, I'm using a combination of either light gray or dark gray just to make it easy. It's like a cloudy gray color, and I thought it would pull everything together. So this is a Winnie the Pooh image that I also got from Carol, and I thought they looked beautiful against these blue paint chips. And I'm painting Piglet pink. Little Piglet was reined in and surrounded by water in his little tree house. So it was a black and white image, but I had to grab my pink pen and paint Piglet pink because he is so cute and I want him to be seen. Who else thinks that one of the hardest parts about making tags is deciding what to put on the front of them? I don't know why. I stress out about it every time. I feel like it's either too wide and it won't look right if I turn it, or it's too like a long, tall tag. I find the image that's perfect, but it's just way too small and it would look silly on the bottom. I wonder if there's like an easier method of making sure that you're well endowed with all the images that will be used on tall, narrow tags like this, because I feel like when I get to this point with every journal, I'm struggling to decorate the tags, and I don't know, I don't want it to be this way. The little punch that helps you create the holes, the hole reinforcers, is one of my favorite tools that I got. I was talking to, I believe, Mary at Plethora of Paper about it, because she was on the fence of whether or not to buy one. And I told her that I love mine. It's just sort of, it gets stuck a lot. Like, you have to kind of help the paper out after you punch. And if you don't empty the little reservoir at the top, it will get super bound up, and it's really hard to get it going again. So I guess it's a love-hate relationship. I like doing that instead of buying hole reinforcers, and I don't always want a metal eyelet in my tags. It's more economical to do the paper, and for many tags, it's sturdy enough. You don't need something metal to, be able to put a ribbon through it without the tag tearing up. So if you're on the fence about that tool, order it with those 2 caveats that I just mentioned. But it is a fun little tool. These are coming along nicely, and I can't wait to show the flip through to you. Be watching in the next couple of days for that. And as always, thank you so much for joining me today and watching and commenting. I appreciate all of you so much. See you later.